Alright guys, it has been a minute since I made a video, and this video I did tease a little bit on it with the YouTube photo, but we have the Dodge Dakota back. Alright, so walk through this quick. Once I got this back, the previous owner, he couldn't take it with him because he's moving out of state, so I decided to buy it back. I did know it needed a couple things, so it needed the rack and pinion replaced because the seal was going out. It needed the cap replaced because the cap fell apart and was trying to block up the exhaust. Besides that, everything was running good. So, I got the exhaust fixed first. I already had a new cat, so I had the new cat welded in, and it's looking good. Then once I got the exhaust fixed, it blew out the EGR, I'm assuming, the EGR valve. So, replace the EGR valve. If you guys want to know what that is, it's right there, obviously the new shiny piece. It is only held in by 2 10s, and it has a gasket underneath of it. Super easy job, just loosen both 10s, take it off, straight up out, and obviously replace, new gasket, new EGR valve, put it on, 1010. Easy peasy. Part number for that, from CarQuest anyways, is going to be EGC 1214. That'll get you the new valve. This was the old one. As you can see, it's all built up. I did replace this recently, that's why it's so shiny. I replaced this like I think 3 years ago, something like that. So it happens. The fact that it lasted that long is awesome to me because a lot of aftermarket parts don't last that long. But next up is the rack and pinion. Okay, so the rack and pinion seals were starting to leak, obviously because it was an OEM unit, which I'm surprised it lasted that long once again. But then I ended up getting a Cardone unit, so that will be the Cardone unit for the rack and pinion, 22-326. I think it was like 220 bucks with an $80 core charge. I ended up going with the new pressure hose and return hose. Pressure hose is going to be $340, $1270. That's for the pressure hose. The return hose is $340, $2230. I think they were like 22 bucks a piece. The easiest way to tell the pressure hose from the return hose, the pressure hose will be threaded into the back of the power steering reservoir, and the return hose will just be clamped in. So, easiest way to tell, yeah. But if you guys do want to replace it, it's honestly pretty simple. Obviously, you're going to have to jack the car off the ground, take off both wheels. Your lug nuts should be either a 19 millimeter if they're OEM. If they have the steel shells on them, they might have fallen off. If they've fallen off, they could be a 17 mil or an 18 mil. One of those 3 sockets should pull all the lugs off. Mine actually lost the case on one of them, so I have like 5 19s and 1 18 because the shell's gone. But overall, super easy to do. Once it's up off the ground, the wheels are off, you're going to get up underneath and start loosening things up. I would first loosen up the rack here. So you have that bolt and this bolt. It's going to be a 24 millimeter. I know, big socket. Once that's loosened up, don't take them all the way off, just loosen it up a little bit. You're going to have to pop out the tie rod ends. Once you pop the tie rod ends out, which is super simple, you get up there, pull the cotter pin out, loosen that castle nut. All I did was use an adjustable wrench. It really wasn't that bad, just knocked it loose. And you're gonna I threaded the nut all the way to the top so I can't damage the threads. And then I used the fork to wedge in between it and basically split the two apart. And then same thing with this setup. I literally just used an adjustable wrench to knock the set screw loose, or the set nut loose, which is right here. So it's this little outside nut. Remember, counterclockwise to loosen it up, and then you can just spin this off by hand. Make sure you keep the nut because the new one does not come with a replacement nut. The only other pain that you're going to have to run into is up on the rack. As you can see right here, both of the hoses thread in. The new one, it just has basically a section where it's a straight tube where you can basically fasten the new pipe on. This one was pretty simple. The top one, it's angled, so just know that basically the Z shape goes into the rack and pinion. The U shape goes into the reservoir up there. That's the easiest way to say it. With that being said, like I said, you see what I mean? The U shape goes into the reservoir. The only pain part that you're going to have with this is way down here. There's that steering knuckle right here. There's a bolt that comes off right there. You need to take that off so you can separate it from the rack and pinion. When you go to do that, take the nut out. I sprayed it down with PB Blaster. That way it was ready a while. But before you try to mess with that and pull it off, go over to the inside of your car and try to make sure this steering wheel is not able to spin a full spin. I locked this down with a ratchet strap and I tied it around the brake pedals, so I knew it could do some movement, but it couldn't spin all the way around. If it spins all the way around, you have the chance of possibly blowing out your clock spring. If this starts spinning too much, I think you have like a spin or spin and a half before it blows out the clock spring. So just to let you know, when you're moving it down there, this wheel spins super quick. So it may only seem like a half a turn to you, but this wheel probably could have just turned a whole turn already. So just keep that in mind when you go to do that. Besides that though, the Dakota is still pretty much the way I left it. It still has all these other new parts. If you watch my older videos, you can see everything that I've replaced on it, which has been a lot. So the cat's fixed with the new one, which is great. It's running good. It's running a lot better. I didn't realize there was that much cat material stuck in the back tailpipe, but it was actually a lot of cat material stuck in there. So I'm surprised this thing even ran that good at all. Besides that, EGR is replaced again. Probably due to some of the exhaust issues, but that was replaced. Easy peasy. Rack and pinion's replaced. Like I said, it took me maybe 2 hours. It was probably closer to an hour and a half, but maybe 2 hours. I do have to fix the battery terminals because the wires are all messed up and this thing doesn't want to sit right on it. And then the most recent issue that happened with it is it sprung a little pinhole right in there. I'm not sure where, because I tried sanding it down to see where it was a little bit. I couldn't find it, so I ended up trying to mask it until the new rad comes with some JB Weld. Let's see what happens with that. No, I haven't had really too much luck with JB Weld on rads. If you saw an old video with this, I tried the same thing with this, and it did not hold up whatsoever. But I think as of right this second, minus that terminal, which is a simple, easy job, the rad replacement, and this connector looks like it's starting to fry out again, so I might have a blower motor issue. If you don't know, this is a common failure point. It's usually this though, but this will fail or this will fail. One of these two pieces will fail. Either way, both of them are cheap. Well, I think this one's like 10-15 bucks and this is like 10-15 bucks. So as you can tell, I already replaced it once, so it's probably going to get replaced again. Apparently it's like super common with the Dakotas. It's more of a pain, but super common. But besides that, this is the Dakota, guys. It is back. I will keep making videos on this because, like I said, as of right now, let's say I have a board of things to do with this. Obviously, that's going to be one of them because that's a problem. That because it's kind of half. I don't like that. So we got the battery terminal, rad, the blower motor connector over there. And it does have a weird idle, about 50 to 100 RPM difference, just a slight idle change. I think the intake manifold, the underside actually has a gasket leak, small vac leak, nothing crazy, but I know it is common that the underside of this actually will develop a leak because it has a plenum plate underneath. So basically it has two banks, and then underneath is actually a steel plate, which obviously, if you know, aluminum intake, steel plate, they heat up and cool down at two different temps, so obviously it starts to mess with the gasket, and well, it's never been changed, at least that I know of, and I bought it from the original owner. So, and I know the previous owner, aka my uncle, he did not change it, so this will probably need to be done too. But besides that, that's a little update video for you guys on the Dodge Dakota, and a quick little run through on the rack and pinion replacement with new lines. Honestly, super simple. Like I said, if you any of my videos, if you have any questions, guys, drop them in the comments. I will definitely get back to you guys as quick as I can. it does notify me pretty quick that somebody's left a comment, so I can get in there real quick and see what's going on and maybe comment back quick. An update on the BMW, it needs brakes, so I will be doing brakes on that thing next week. I think today's the 9th, August 9th, so at some point next week I will be getting into this, so I'll probably just split the video in half. I'll do fronts and then rears. So BMW E83 X3, front brake pad replacement, because I'm getting rotors, pads, wear sensors, the whole shebang for that thing. So I'll do rears and then fronts, do 2 separate videos for it. This thing is still good. Not much going on with this besides a slight vac leak on this one too. So these two both have some kind of vacuum leak going on. I know what that one is from. This one is from me loosening the intake manifold just a little bit to wiggle that new AC compressor in. So it's probably those seals on the intake manifold. Not surprising. Shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. Like I said, that's going to be OEM gaskets on this thing too. So I really shouldn't have done that with this. This thing's fine. Mustang's a Mustang. It's fine. That just needs like interior door panels reupholstered. It is what it is with that. That's normal for the Mustangs. But this thing I'll probably put away soon once this thing is back to, say, 90%, because it's never going to be 100%. There's always going to be something lurking on this. It'd be nice to find another fender to fix this, but every time I try to find the fender for it, the company is out of stock. But besides that, that's the update on everything right now, guys. So stay tuned for that if you guys have a BMW or want to see the brake change on that. That'll be coming up next week. And this week is basically just me doing a rundown on 1, the fact that I got the truck back, and 2, just the small stuff that I've already gone through, and apparently what I have planned for it. That was definitely not planned, by the way. But like always, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel, because we got more coming, especially when I get the Genesis back, which I feel like that's a repeat remark. But at some point, guys, it will be back. But yeah, any other cars, you have any questions, leave a comment. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, guys. We're definitely going to keep doing videos. We're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. So subscribe. And if you guys want to help grow the channel, go ahead and share the content. Sharing the content helps grow the channel, and it helps me make more fun videos for you guys. Obviously, I already have my hands full here, but why not add some more pain to that? Because there's always something to change or modify on one of these, especially when the Genesis comes back, because that thing, I haven't messed with that thing in a while. But that's going to do it for this video. Stay tuned for anything else that's coming, mainly that. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. You guys have been great. Alright, peace, guys.